Hey everyone, what's up? Today we're going to be talking about what really helps for acne. Now for me, the main things that have helped my acne is actually diet changes. Now I know most doctors you go to may say, no, that's not what's important, and just say, go take these antibiotics, that doesn't work, you know what, let's put you on Accutane, and yes, that will bring it down, but it can come back up. What you're really doing with these things is suppressing what is trying to come out through your skin. Now, with dietary changes, obviously, what you put into your body is what your body uses to grow and develop. And so if you're putting in things that do not work for your body specifically, you're not going to turn out right. And so for me, I have acne. Now obviously diet is not the only thing, but it is one major part of helping your acne that I've found. Now in this video, there are three main points I'll be talking about. Number one is cutting out dairy, or at least minimizing your intake, but preferably cutting it out. Now the biggest dairy product we usually consume is milk. So in the morning you might have it with your cereal, you might have it in your teas, you might have it just to drink. Most cows that supply us milk are pregnant. Now due to the fact that they are pregnant, progesterone and insulin growth factors can be found in the milk. Now this can cause inflammation in your body, which then can cause acne for many people, not everyone, and also skin breakdown and so aging. Now milk also contains certain hormones that can stimulate oil production in the skin, and so that will clog pores, and already with the inflammation on top of that, you're clogging those pores that are there, which really does cause acne. So at least I'd say anyone with acne, you may have tried so many different things, you may not, but at least try a little elimination diet for around 8 weeks. Just slowly for the first few weeks, take out maybe your milk, still have a bit of cheese every now and then, but slowly remove it all. And eventually you'll have no more dairy in your diet. And then just let that carry on for about 8 weeks and see if your acne improves, and then try bringing it back in, because it may have just been another reason due to where you are, stress, could have been anything. Bring it back in and see for like the first week if your skin does get worse again. Then you'll know that dairy is triggering your skin, because everybody's skin, everybody's body is different, so it reacts to different nutrients very differently. Now one thing that I found bad, for me at least, about removing dairy was the fact that I love sport and I'm trying to build muscle in the calisthenics discipline that I do. Now, I can get enough protein in normally, but sometimes you want to have some protein powder, and that is usually all made out of whey. Now, whey protein powder is derived from milk, and so dairy, and so what I found is a really great alternative for anyone looking into this is pea protein powder, and it is usually around 80% protein, so for 2 tablespoons you'll get about 16 grams of protein, which is great. And so it's a really, really good, useful source of protein, and I'll have it in my breakfasts every morning, which is actually a really, really great source of protein as a supplement if you are going on this dairy elimination diet and already taking whey protein powder. Now, if you've got this far in the video and you don't actually have really bad acne, cystic acne, anything like that, I would still just say cut out dairy if you are insecure about your skin, or you do not like the way your skin looks or feels with the little bit of acne you may have in a T-zone. Yes, it can be very hormonal, but dairy could be making it a lot worse. So at least try this dairy elimination, and I'll move on to these next few points for people who have slightly worse acne, because they are more specific cases, but it seemed to be, at least for me, the ones that haven't changed as much as dairy has. So I would really, really recommend trying this cutting out dairy for people with not much acne, due to the fact that I believe it could basically cure your acne, unless a lot of it is hormonal depending on your age and depending on your body. Now my next point is trying to keep a diet with low gluten intake. Now for me at the start I tried cutting out gluten completely, did the same with dairy and the next one we're about to talk about, but what I found for me is that cutting out dairy completely, I've been doing that for about 2 years now and that's been working great for me, but gluten, I brought it back in vaguely and it still seems fine for me. So sometimes I'll have a little bit of bread every now and then, or a little cereal product that might have a slight bit of gluten in it, but only on more rare occasions. So maybe bread every once a week, maybe a little bit of bread twice a week, not every day or with every meal. That is the serious point I want to get across here. Now I do not believe I am seriously gluten intolerant due to the fact that I can eat it and do not have any dietary problems, but your body is essentially fighting off the gluten when you take it in, and this releases histamine and insulin resistance, which then causes inflammation and so acne. So if you are gluten intolerant or have found that that is the case, when you cut out acne that you feel better in general, and inflammation is reduced, I would seriously cut out gluten completely, and there's a lot of resources on being gluten intolerant out there on the web. Now, if you are not gluten intolerant, as most people are not, I would still remember at least minimizing it. Now, most people will be having bread literally all the time. They'll be having that for their lunch at school as sandwiches, they'll be having it at breakfast, maybe with a bit of jam on top, maybe a bit of honey or something, and then maybe in dinner as well. I would seriously try to minimize it to once a day if possible, and also taking bread that is maybe not so processed. So for example, instead of your little square white bread, maybe try and get some rye bread in there. Much healthier. Now, the last point I am going to make is about keeping a low sugar intake. And by this I do not mean sugars from fruit, have as much fruit as you want, but I mean sugar that's just been put into products. When you look at the ingredients, it's number 1 on there. That's what I want to minimize. So for example, ice cream or fried foods, really trying to minimize them. Now, sugar can cause spikes in insulin levels and therefore cause inflammation. It can also cause sometimes extra oil production in the skin and therefore clog your pores, which is bad again. But remember, when I am talking about this oil production, remember that good fats like olive oil or coconut oil are great for you, and obviously not too much of anything is bad, but having olive oil in your salads and everything is really healthy for you. So I would seriously not think, oh god, my skin is really oily, I'm gonna cut out all oils. I would recommend not doing that, although I have heard that has worked for certain people. Everybody's body's different, but so far I would seriously recommend keeping healthy fats in your diet, as it has so many benefits. The other reason I say cutting out sugary foods is because usually these sugary foods are maybe some bars or any random snacks, I don't know, your crisps, any ice creams again. Now, if you look at the ingredients on these, you will see that sugar comes up first on the list. This means basically that sugar is highest in there, because that list, if you did not know already, that goes in order of the highest ingredient. So that sugar being number 1 or number 2 means there is a lot of sugar inside, and it's a lot, trust me. So I would really recommend avoiding those foods if possible, due to the fact that they also have a lot of other really bad additives inside and colourings, all of that. So it's not only for the fact that you're avoiding sugar, it's also for the fact that you're avoiding these things in general. Now, the one thing I really do want all of you guys to remember is that we're all different, and the best way to work out if any of these things will be working for you is to slowly experiment with all of them, most likely one at a time. So I'd start with dairy, cut that out for about 8 weeks. Now, when I do say cut out, I mean slowly bring it out over the first week. And once you've had it out for those few weeks, bring it back in, test it, see if it does affect you, or maybe you've already realised due to the fact that you have no more acne or much less acne, then yes, that has definitely worked. Then move on to sugar and gluten and do the same process, but do one at a time so you do know which one is doing it. But for me, I cut them all out at the start and then slowly brought gluten and sugar vaguely back in. So I sometimes have some sugary products and sometimes have some gluten, but I am completely off dairy, and that is what's working for me so far. My skin did get worse since the last video due to the fact that I have been doing a dance course for a whole week, and so due to sweat, I have got more acne, but it's slowly been coming back down again. So this is one of the trade-offs when you have acne, things that happen. Now, the other thing I really do want you guys to remember is that sometimes eating any of these things is fine. You can't get too stressed out about it. Really do just sometimes have what you want to eat, have a little snack, and just go for it, because otherwise you're losing all the pleasures in life, all the food pleasures in life for certain people. But maybe you don't want to, but don't force yourself to eat like crap, if other people are doing it and you don't feel like eating that because you know it's not good for your skin. Just say, no, I don't want that. Maybe bring along your own little foods or your little snacks. I might talk about some alternative snacks in a later video if you guys want that, so comment down below if you'd like to see that. And yeah, so basically just be relaxed about it, but do try and keep on track with your nutrition. So thanks a lot for watching this video, guys. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.